Okay, morning everyone. I'm living UK Taiwan, and some of you may know me from PinMapple, so thank you, Haiku, for the shout out in your magazine. Please do read their magazine and read about PinMapple. PinMapple is, I'm going to steal 2 minutes of my OCD presentation because PinMapple is the Hive travel community, which I've been working on for quite a few years. And I just want to let everyone know that PinMapple is doing a treasure hunt. So some of you might have seen these cards in your goodie bag. Martibus, who owns, or he's the creator of PinMapple, he's done a treasure hunt and he's hidden 1,000 Hive on the blockchain somewhere in an account, which is for anyone to grab if you can crack the code. So there's a coordination code, which you can get these cards at the front desk, but there's a coordination code. If you find the coordination, you will find one of the clues, and then there's another anagram. If you crack the anagram, it takes you to a place in this church somewhere, which will give you another clue. So once you get these 2 clues, you should be and crack it, you will get access to the account, which you also have to find, and that 1,000 Hive is yours. So have a go, everyone. It's worth your time. Okay, going back to my OCD presentation today. As you know, OCD is run by this guy. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's supposed to move.
Oh, yeah, the reception for the clicker is near.
Oh.
But you don't have to walk all the way to this place, but you should click. It's clicking, no?
Is it? No, should work.
What? This was a PDF? You know?
Good point. Sorry, my bad. Okay, yeah. So, as you know, OCD is run by Acid. He's out in the metaverse somewhere. He can't be here, so I'm presenting on his behalf. What I want to do today is to take you through, tell you what OCD are, who OCD are, what we do, how we approach the whole creation thing on Hive, and some other bits and pieces that we're doing. So, first of all, OCD stands for Original Content Decentralized. The B on the end of OCD-B is bot, which is something we had back in the old days, which is something we don't talk about now, we don't really want to talk about anymore. So quite often, that's why you see people talk about OCD, and OCD-B is sort of used interchangeably. We started back in 2017, and we are now one of the largest creation guild on Hive. We've got about 9.6 million worth of delegation, so thanks to everyone who's supporting OCD. We reward the delegators with liquid Hive. What delegators don't get, and this is what quite a few users think, they think by delegating to OCD, you will get preferential treatment for creation. So sorry, that doesn't happen. Because we actually focus our attention to create under rewarded authors. And I'll be talking a bit more about that in a minute. So the way we approach the creation on Hive, I've called it a cradle-to-grave approach because I couldn't find another better term for it. But basically what happens, the cradle starts at the top where with the introduction post that a user does, going through to retention, community, and then they sort of leave the cycle either through a grave or a save. So the Slough Sniper intro creation, we've got a bot which picks up all the first posts made by new accounts, and then the team manually creates all these posts. We also check out the new account for legitimacy to make sure there's nothing dodgy going on, that they are who they say they are, they're not an imposter, or they're not an alt of another main account, etc. All this is done manually by the team. And if they write a good introduction post, we will drop them a comment, giving them some sort of to welcome them, give them some like newbie tips, and we will also drop them OCD vote just to sort of to welcome them and to encourage them to stay active on Hive. Currently, we're following about 9,000 new accounts, and this is from, I think, March last year when we started this program. So a lot of new accounts joining since then. And of course, there are some which we haven't followed as well. The next stage is the Love Sniper retention. We've got a team of 4 or 5 people who actively go through the Love Sniper following feed. That's all those 9,000 accounts. The objective there is to support, encourage, and retain these users. And we also guide them to create their content into communities. The idea is being that if they, we want the community to grow, and we think if they can find a community which fits in with their hobby, what the type of content they're producing. Hopefully they will find a home or a place on Hive where they feel comfortable, and they will stay around for longer and not disappear after the first or second post. And eventually, we will unfollow these users, and that is the grave or safe part. The grave part is when quite often, unfortunately, we find users who abuse Hive. There's a lot of plagiarism going around. So once we do detect that sort of behavior, that we sort of unfollow them. And the other way is when a user gets to about rep 60, they've sort of established themselves, and we then follow them so they can go and sort of move out into the big Hive metaverse on their own. But that doesn't mean we stop supporting them, because we also have the community incubation. And that's where we have, well, currently the program has about 29 communities, ranging from like the more popular ones like photography and travel, and to smaller ones like I don't know, skateboarding and handmade jewelry. So the community rep from those community, they nominate posts from their community to OCD, and that's all linked back to what Love Sniper does in trying to encourage or move content into specific communities. And the moderators or the community mods who does that, they are rewarded from OCD via any community compilation reports they do featuring the people they've created. And of course, we also curate our own OCD community, which is more of a general content community. We also try to encourage people to post their content from OCD into the niche community as well. Because a lot of people think that posting in OCD community will increase their chances of getting an upvote from OCD. That's not true, really. I could sort of tell people just posting in the other communities, and we've got a team of about 30 creators who will sort of go out looking for good content, because there is enough content out there for us to support. And we also create comments as well, because good comments drive engagement on Hive, and that's what we need, more engagement, more activity to make Hive stronger. And I also want to talk a bit about who we upvote, because quite often we see people coming on Discord, on the OCD Discord, and ask, oh, how can I get an upvote from OCD? Simple things, first of all. Quality is sort of the prime thing. The other thing is OCD's objective is to support under-rewarded authors. That is like new users who are sort of probably with lower reputation, who need more support, and they're not getting the, people aren't aware of these accounts, but they are creating good quality. So under-rewarded accounts is our focus of what we do on OCD. And just to give you a bit of example, in August last month, we actually OCD made cast 5,000, I think it's actually 5,003 upvotes on Hive, which is actually a lot. I actually snooped around some other creation projects, and they did about like 3,000 something upvotes compared to us. So we do sort of like go around quite a lot looking for good content, and we dropped 5,000 upvotes to about 1,900 unique accounts on Hive. So there is a lot of good content out there, a lot of people who maybe aren't getting the support they deserve, and we try to spread our support around as much as possible with the sort of delegation we have. And out of those 1,900 accounts, 2/3 of them are actually to young accounts, which are accounts less than 2 years old. And just to break it down, because I like numbers, so you see on the left-hand side, out of the 1,900 accounts, 629, at least 1/3 of them, are older accounts older than 2 years old. And then on the right-hand side, the 661 are accounts which are younger than less than 2 years old, and with a lower reputation of under 60. And likewise for this, the votes that we've done, 1/3 of them go to older accounts, older than 2 years. And then the 2/3 go to accounts which are less than 2 years old. But you will see in the middle stack that the accounts with a higher rep of 60, they do get a bit more upvotes. That's probably because new accounts which are under 60 rep, they've just come on Hive. They're still trying to adapt to sort of the quality we're looking for. Maybe they've come from Facebook, etc., where they're used to sort of shorter content. So it maybe takes time for them to ramp up or change their style of writing or improve their quality. So moving on to some other stuff that we do, we also have an onboarded team. So Hive needs a bigger user base to be stronger. And that's why we have a team of about 20 active onboarders who go out into their own social circles to onboard people. Doing it that way is, we think, is a bit more effective because they actually recruit or onboard people they know. So that takes away a bit of the abuse that may come through from sort of random people or people who sort of just create thousands of accounts just to do whatever they want to do on Hive. So these onboarders, they actually recruit people, and then we expect them to guide and mentor them and to sort of grow on Hive and sort of don't go off track and do what they're not supposed to do on Hive. And in return, we offer a delegation of 100 HP per onboardee they bring onto Hive, assuming that that onboardee is still sort of active. So it's a good way of getting people to bring new people on Hive and bring more value onto Hive, and also sort of encouraging them so they can go and sort of support them, and they get a bit of reward through the delegation. And also, what we've seen is with some of the onboardees that have come onto Hive, they have actually grown and become onboarders themselves. So that's like paying it forward. And that's what we sort of want to see on Hive as well. The other project which you may have seen as it talking a lot about is this POSH, proof of sharing. The objective of this is to bring more traffic onto Hive. It's a program where you can tweet your Hive content on Web2 social media, mainly Twitter and Reddit at the moment. And you can retweet your own content, or you can retweet somebody else's content, and you get rewarded with POSH tokens. Every day we distribute about 400 POSH tokens to about 150 people who retweet their own content. The amount of POSH token they get depends on how well their tweet does on Twitter. So we've got a team who sort of monitors all that. And we also distribute about 100 POSH tokens to about 80 people who have delegated to the POSH token account. The whole POSH program is great for you to create under-rewarded content as well. So if you see a great post that is not getting a lot of support on Hive, you can retweet that on Twitter, and then we've got a team who sort of looks at all the retweets as well, and we could potentially upvote the post that you've retweeted on Twitter. I'll quickly go through some of the bits and pieces that we are doing. This is stuff that I've actually picked up from Alts's post in the past few months. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but we've got like NFT pets. We are improving the POSH on Web2 platform. I think it's probably Facebook there. We're looking to improve the POSH token landing page. We also want more utilities for POSH. That's something that Acid, I know, is working on. And he's also looking at a creation-focused token for OCD. I think that's quite new. And just to summarize, everything that I've just talked about and what we're doing, the objective is to bring value on Hive, and I think that's what we all want to do. I guess that's why we're here as well. The onboarders bringing users onto, more quality users onto Hive, and then we've got the Love Sniper retention team encouraging them, and also driving content towards the community, so hopefully they will find a home where they will feel more comfortable with and build their own sort of social network community as well. And then we've got the communities. We're supporting the communities to grow. We're supporting the communities to grow their communities on Hive. Because sometimes it is quite difficult to grow your community if you've got like a small stake and you don't have enough exposure. People are not aware of it. Sometimes we OCD host contests for these communities to promote them and make people aware of them. And then at the same time, we've got the POSH, which is designed to bring traffic to Hive as well. So all these bits and pieces, they all sort of link together at the end with just one common objective to grow, to make Hive stronger, to grow it. Unfortunately, I don't have any data to quantify the effectiveness of what we're doing. But the point of doing all this is like you've got to plant the seeds for sort of Hive to grow. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, a question from Alex.
Hi, how do you have a guideline for quality? Because quality is always in the eyes of the beholder. Like a photograph can post a picture and it can be like a setup for the picture can take hours. Also for the light, seeing the wrinkles, putting everything in the setup. And the photo is like a high quality photo posted. And somebody that's writing a text of 700 words might be, for me, a lower quality post than this photo. Do you have a guideline for the quality or something like that, or it's just how do you feel it?
Yeah, that is really subjective.
It's a tough.
It is. Quality is always a subjective thing, which is, I think, there are no sort of strict guidelines. We don't have like a word limit or image limit on when we create, which is why we have the community leaders being a curation, because they know what is good quality in their area of specialization. So we incubate some art community, so they know what's good art, what's not good art. To me, if I look at an art is an art is an art, it doesn't make any difference to me and have no idea. But the guys, they know what's good music, what's good art. So that's why we trust the community creators to nominate whatever they think is good quality in their eyes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Living UK Taiwan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.